Hello and welcome everyone to the series of podcasts about Masaaki Imai's legacy. Today I have with me another of our key members of Kaizen Institute, Mr. Vinod Grover, founding managing director of Kaizen Institute India and Africa. Welcome, Mr. Vinod, to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So, Mr. Vinod, I would like to start with the first question that I think is very important for us, for all the community in Kaizen Institute, and about Masaaki Imai and what he left us, which is what do you think, what is your view on the most important Kaizen message that he left us?
Of course, there are many messages he gave us, but the one which I consider very significant is something that he talked about after his first book and before, maybe after his second book also. It was the definition of Kaizen was expanded by him to include everyone, every day, everywhere. So when he talked of these three words, he actually converted Kaizen from just an improvement technique to a culture building technique. Because only when everyone, every day, everywhere happens, it's a culture.
Can you actually tell us a bit more about what is for you, what does it mean for you, everyone, every day and everywhere?
You know, as we began our Kaizen practicing careers, Kaizen was basically practiced by engineers, managers, without too much involvement from the bottom of the pyramid. Now that always created a problem. We would improve because we had many tools in our toolbox. But after a while, things would start going back to normal. And we didn't know what happened. We would keep saying that it is because of top management commitment. Only when we started focusing on everyone, every day, everywhere, we realized that the processes can only be sustained and deterioration can only be prevented if we involve people.
So actually, very interesting point you mentioned about the top management commitment, right? And one of the things that Masaaki tried to tell us many times is that Kaizen is a strategy. So can you tell us a bit more about this? What Masaaki meant with this?
Let's start with understanding what is strategy. Strategy is basically how management wants to achieve its long-term goals, objectives, and its mission. How means there is a roadmap, something to do, something to improve. Now, the real practice of Kaizen is that we have to implement the plan. Now, for implementation of plan, what we have to do is the top goals of the organization have to be cascaded down to departments, functions, eventually to people working on the workplace. Now, if the strategy that has been decided is cascaded down and being implemented bottom up, the bottom up involvement, the Kaizen itself becomes strategic.
And that is, I think, what you mentioned at the beginning, is everyone, every day, and everywhere, right?
So this people involvement towards strategic goals makes Kaizen strategic.
Great. So let me now move to a bit of a different topic, but more related to you, Mr. Vinod. Because Masaaki was telling us many things and left us many messages, but is there any message or key lesson that impacted you that you are still today applying in your professional environment?
I remember a quotation from him. He used to say, everything in the Gemba is destined to deteriorate if left alone. The key impact that I received from here was that even remaining at the same level requires effort. Improvement requires effort, we always knew, but sustenance will also require effort. That was the message I got. And that's the time when I realized that PDCA itself is not Kaizen, It is PDCA combined with SDCA, that is Kaizen. And it is mastering the SDCA which has become my mission after learning all the PDCA tools. And that's what has stayed with me for doing my own work in Kaizen, managing my own organization, as well as for serving clients.
And would you say also in your personal life as well?
Personal life, I practice very many things. And since this practicing things has become natural to me, it requires no further effort. So many things are natural, and I think I don't consciously do them, but they are part of life.
And they are part of you, all right,
Yeah.
right. So let me look now at in the future, because it's also a very interesting topic, because Masaaki Imai left us a lot of knowledge that we are using today. But in your opinion, how do you think that this legacy that Masaaki Imai left us will shape the future of the business?
Let me put it this way. Future is created by, for one organization, the future is created by having a vision and working towards that vision. Whether tomorrow we work with Industry 4.0, 5.0, 6.0 or AI or robotics or whatever else, eventually all these will be harnessed towards achieving the organization purpose. That means people will be involved for managing it, and it is the people to whom we are providing goods and services. So when people are involved in managing and running a system, whether it uses technology X, Y, or Z, where there are people, there is a culture. And where there is a need to build culture, we need Kaizen.
So the foundation of culture is something that will always be there.
People will always be there, and the culture, excellence is built by culture, not by tools and methods. So if we want to build excellence, we have to focus on culture, and as long as people work in an organization, we need to build culture, therefore we need Kaizen.
Great insight. So, Mr. Vinod, I'm reaching the end of the episode, but I like always sometimes to my guests to ask for some memories about Masaaki Imai and some anecdotes that they can share with us. And Masaaki Imai was known for being a person who tells many jokes. So, do you have any that you would like to share with us? Some experience, memory joke that Masaaki Imai shared with you, or that you live with him?
I met him many times, and he had a subtle sense of humor at times. And in order to know whether he was serious or whether it was meant to be a joke, you had to look at his eyes, and a twinkle in his eye would tell you that it's meant to be in a humorous vein. But one joke that he used to recite frequently, which I always remember, is the one in which he talked about two gentlemen on a hunting expedition. One was a tall American, the other was a short Japanese. They went together for hunting expedition, and that was, of course, when the hunting was allowed. And throughout the day, they had their guns ready to shoot, but they found nothing. When they were tired and wanting to go back, they started walking toward their jeep, and they were not on guard at that time, and suddenly from behind they heard the roar of a lion. The American, the tall man, started running. The Japanese quietly took off his rucksack, started changing his shoes. The American shouted, "By wearing new shoes, how will you outrun the lion?" The Japanese replied, "I only have to run faster than you. The rest lion will take care."
Thank you, Mr. Vinod. Thank you very much for being here today with me, sharing your experience and knowledge with the audience. So thank you once again.
You're most welcome. It was very nice speaking to you.
So for our audience, we will be having more recordings like this about Masaaki Imai's legacy. So stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.